All right, hi friends, we're back. We are going to wrap up our week with some science. We're going to finish out what we've been talking about. We've talked about direction this week. We've talked about how things can move up and down. We've talked about how they can move around and around, zigzag, back and forth. And I think that's all of them. And in a straight line, We also talked about Isaac Newton, who was a scientist who lived a long time ago, and he studied how and why things moved. Yesterday, you watched a little video on Isaac Newton, and you watched as he looked for an answer to that question of why did the apple fall down and hit him in the head? And he is the person that discovered gravity. And if we think about gravity, we looked in our science workbooks yesterday and we found out that gravity is just like a invisible string that holds everything down to earth. And if that string wasn't there, if gravity wasn't there, we talked about how things would be floating in the air. We'd be trying to get dressed and have to chase our clothes down. And if we tried to eat our dinner, we'd have to hold it down so we could eat it. So gravity is a good thing. It's a good thing to understand. So it kind of makes you look around thinking everything's held down with an invisible string, and we credit Isaac Newton for explaining that to us. Today, what we're going to do is we're going to wrap up our work on motion, and we are going to do an experiment. So I know I put it in the notes to Mom and Dad, but if you need to pause and go get it, go ahead. But I need you to have a wooden block. It could be smaller than this, it could be bigger than this, whatever is easiest for you to find, a wooden block, and a scrunched up piece of paper, and your straw, okay? If Mom wants you to, you could just use the same straw that you used earlier in the week. Okay, so we chose a heavy object, and we chose a light object. Now, what I would like you to do, and I'm gonna lean this down so that we can see, hopefully. Okay. All right. So let's take our light object, okay? And let's go ahead and blow through the straw to see if we can move that crumpled up piece of paper, okay? So let's go ahead and do that. Moved right off on screen for me right here. So let me start it back a little bit further. Okay. Moves pretty easily, doesn't it? Okay. Now, let's take the block, okay? Feel that block. What do you think is going to happen if we try to blow that block with our straw? Let's go ahead and try. Wow, I have a lot of air, and that took a lot for me to get that to move just a little bit. Let's see if I can do it again. See if you can move it a little bit. Blow really hard. Wow. That was really hard. Which one was easier to blow and to move? Let's try it one more time and let's just check and see. Okay, so now let's line them up together side by side. It's like they're gonna race, right? Now blow your crumpled up paper first. Moved pretty fast, didn't it? Moved pretty quick. Mine moved right off the screen there, so I'm gonna move it back a little bit. All right, now go ahead and blow your block. Wow, I can't even get it to move this time. I got it to move a little bit. Okay, but I had to blow really, really hard there. All right, so I lined them both up at the same spot. Which one moved easier? Which one moved easier with my straw? If you said the crumpled up paper, you are correct. Exactly. Do you know why it moved easier than the block? You might have said it's smaller, but what I'm looking for is it is lighter. Very good. If you take the two of them and hold them, which one is lighter? Very good. The crumpled up paper was lighter. Okay. So I think it's easy. I think it's safe to say that if we have a lighter object, it's going to be easier to move than a heavier object. Now, what caused both of them to move? What caused both of them to move? You did, right? You caused them to move because what did you do? You blew them through the straw. Very good. You are the cause. You are the cause. You are what made these move. This was the effect. You were the cause, and this was the effect. That this moved faster because you blew into it, and it's lighter, so it moved faster. The block is heavier. You blew on it, but it didn't move as far because it's heavier. So the cause and effect is you're the cause, and how these moved were the effect. Okay? All right. Now, in your science workbook, you were on this page yesterday with the gravity. Today, what I'd like you to do is turn one page, and you should be looking at page 50 in your science workbook. And in this blue box right here, I'd like you to draw the two things that we used for our test. Okay? And I just did a quick little drawing. I used a crumpled up piece of paper, and I used my block. If I want to circle the object that was heavier, which one would I circle? Very good. I would circle the block because the block was definitely heavier and much harder to blow and to get it to move. All right, my friends, great job on science this week, talking about motion, talking about gravity, and also talking about cause and effect, what makes things move. And today we were the reason that things were moving. Okay, we were the force that made them move. All right, great job on science. Have a great weekend, and I'll talk to you later. Bye-bye.